Still burning, and now 61,000 acres. But good news out of the Las Conchas fire tonight. Firefighters today held the massive blaze behind fire lines.
At its two closest points to Los Alamos, flames are still 4 miles south of the city and 3 miles west. At least 800 people are fighting the fire. 20 aircraft are trying to knock down the flames from the air. And we want to give you a better idea of what we're talking about.
This is a satellite map showing just where the fire has burned. Now you can see the thick red line near Pajarito Mountain ski area. That's about 3 miles from town. About 25% of the firefighters working this thing were working this specific area today fighting spot fires. And their efforts so far are paying off. Now down south along State Highway 4, the fire has reached about 4 miles south of the city. Los Alamos Lab is between the highway and the city, but so far that line is holding and there are no fires on lab property at last report. Jemez Springs is about 8 miles off to the west, to the left, and White Rock is roughly 10 miles to the east, off to the right. Down on the southern end of the fire is the area where many of the 30 homes burned on that first afternoon and evening. But you can see that is a huge fire area.
And this firefight is far from over.
At this hour, flames are still clearly visible from a new flare-up. News 13's Jeff Todd starts our team coverage from Los Alamos.
Tonight has been a very different story than today. Now, this is a look at the flames burning on the ridge of Pacheco Canyon, one of the critical arteries that could drain fire right down into the lab and specifically the Emergency Operations Center. Now, today we saw light swirling winds around town, but that didn't necessarily help the fire grow too much. It also didn't give firefighters the ability to gain ground like they had wanted to here in the foothills above Los Alamos. Now, despite the light winds, we haven't seen any semblance of air attack from planes on these flames. Tonight, the chief told us that just hasn't been essential for the firefight.
We just haven't had the need for it. And if it's moving along, burning out fuel, you just kind of hurt it. And so we haven't seen an air attack because we really haven't asked for an air attack. We haven't done a slurry drop.
Now, after we talked to the chief this evening, we saw one helicopter fly into Pacheco Canyon to try and get a handle on the flare-up that happened just before dusk. The concern moving forward from here is that the fire stays in the canyon. It's going to creep its way east toward lab property. If the winds continue pushing it north to the area between Pajarito and the city, then Los Alamos Canyon becomes a concern because that didn't burn during the Cerro Grande, and it's closer to town and full of fuel. Now, today, the city sent 45 workers into Los Alamos Canyon to clear out that low brush and limbs and to eliminate the fuel threat in that canyon. Now, we're told that they were able to work about 300 yards up into the canyon. They're hoping to get back in there tomorrow, but that all depends on the wind. Back to you.
All right, Jeff, fire officials say the winds that they did have today blew the fire north and northwest from the Pajarito and Camp May areas up toward Valles Caldera and north toward the Santa Clara Pueblo. Now, they will revamp the fire overnight, the map, to update the acreage and the boundaries.